Dear friends, welcome back to Data Analytics Talks. I hope you are enjoying this Data Analytics Talk series and able to gain something out of each video. The last session we have set up Azure SQL Server and we have also installed SQL Server Management Studio and Azure SQL Data Studio and connected to the databases that we have set up in Azure. In this session, I am going to focus on some of the basics of SQL, so in which I would like to cover some theory as well as a demo. I will be covering what is SQL, what is a SQL Server database, what is a structured query language, what is a primary key and foreign key, index, joins, data integrity, stored procedure, views, then something around data security. I hope by the end of this session, you will be able to understand the basics of SQL and get familiar with the SQL Server as in RDBMS. So let's start. So the first question is, what is SQL? The SQL Server is a relational database management system, also known as RDBMS, developed by Microsoft. It provides a secure, scalable, and high-performance environment for storing and managing data. In our last session, we have seen how to create Azure SQL by going to portal.azure.com. We created SQL Server, then we created databases. And we also tried to connect that database from SQL Server Management Studio, also Azure Data Studio. So today we are going to explore the various components of SQL Server. By any chance, if you are unable to log into Azure portal and create your Azure SQL, you don't worry. You can go to SQL Server Download Center and you will find there are different versions of SQL Server available. There will be developer version and there will be express version, there will be server versions. But in order to try or develop, you can download SQL Server Express Edition and install in your system. Downloading SQL Express is quite easy. You can simply click on download. The binaries are downloaded and you can start double clicking. This will install SQL Server Express Edition in your laptop. So you can go for basic, custom or download media options. I think the basic would be enough for you to start learning SQL Server. So I'm not going to install. Please download from SQL Download Center and install it if you are unable to connect to Azure SQL. If you have any doubts or clarification, please make your comments below this video. So I will try to respond to you or support you. So let's move on with our concepts. So what is SQL Server Database? In SQL Server Database is a container for data, tables, views, stored procedures, and other database objects. The tables are used to organize and store data in rows and columns within a database. And each table consists of columns, fields, and rows, which is called records that hold actual data. Let's see that in action. We have three databases in this server. We have a database with some sample data, which is a DAX SQL DB with data. In this database, you can see tables, you can see views, you can see stored procedures, you can see custom functions, and you can also see user-defined types, data types. When there is a database, tables, and other SQL components, then we should know how to interact with them. The structured query language or SQL is the language used for interacting with the database. And this SQL language allows you to create, manipulate, and retrieve data from tables using various commands. And some of the commands are like select. A select command retrieves data from one or more tables. Insert new data into a table. And update. which modifies existing data in a table. Delete removes the data from a table. Create creates a new database object such as table or view. Then we have alter, modifies the structure of an existing object such as adding or deleting columns. Then finally something called drop, which deletes a database object. So these are some of the examples of SQL language. So we will see that in detail while we will be seeing the demo. As you know, there is something called primary key and foreign key. Very important concept that we should understand and implement as you define your relational databases. First of all, is a primary key. A primary key is a column or a combination of columns that uniquely identifies each record in a table. What is a primary key? It's a column or a combination of columns that uniquely identifies each record in a table. So in order to understand the primary key, I would like to use the customer table from the AdventureWorks database. In this customer, you can see many columns, or we call as fields: the customer ID, title, first name, middle name, last name, suffix, company name, salesperson, email address, phone, and so on. But you know, what is that is uniquely identifying a customer? Can a name uniquely identify a customer? There are likely that many customers having same name. Then what is that? What is that can be used to identify a customer uniquely? I think it should be something called customer ID. We have a key called customer ID, which will be uniquely identifying each customer, which means there cannot be a duplicate key. There cannot be any duplicate customer ID, right? That is primary key. A primary key will be having a unique value. It cannot have any duplicate. Next concept is, very important concept, is foreign key. A foreign key is a field in a table that refers to the primary key of another table, establishing a relationship between tables. So primary key and foreign key. Foreign key is a field in a table that refers to the primary key of another table. Again, let's see with an example. We have customer table, we have a sales order table. You know, like the sales are with whom we are making sales with customers. So in the sales order header table, you will have a reference to a customer who is part of the customer table, right? Look at this example. This first is a customer table, and second output is a sales order header, and you can see something called a customer ID in the sales order header table. And this is the foreign key, which is again a primary key of the customer table. What it is doing? It is creating or establishing a relationship between two tables. This is referred as foreign key. There is something called index. An index is a database object that helps speed up data retrieval operations by providing quick access to data based on predefined columns. So we will also see how to create index. Then very important thing, every data engineer should know or master is joins. Joins are used to combine rows from two or more tables based on a related column between them. The common types of joins include inner join, left join, right join, and full join. Maybe we can see an example. So when we come back to our database, we can understand these joins very easily. We have a customer table, we have a sales order header table, and we understand that the sales orders are being made to customers. So I want to see only those customers who have made some sales, right? So I can use inner join. So an inner join is used to combine rows from two or more tables based on related columns between them. Here the related column is a customer. We will be using the keyword inner join, and we will be relating those two tables on the customer ID from both tables. So what will happen? Let me select Let me execute the select statement. So it's going to give me only those customers who have made some sales, right? And inner join is used to combine rows from two or more tables used based on related columns between them. Coming to a left join, what it does do? A left join, also known as left outer join, is used to retrieve all records from the left table, the left side of the join clause, and the matching records from the right table, the right side of the join clause. So I am using this left join. We will get all the records from the sales order header along with a matching customers from the customer table. So let me try to execute and show you. Exactly, I'm getting all the sales orders along with matching customers. Okay, so we have only 32 sales and we are able to see all the customers for that sales order. And finally, we are coming to the right join. What is right join doing? A right join, also known as right outer join, is used to retrieve all records from the right table, the right side of the join clause, and matching records from the left table, the left side of the join clause. So all the records from the customer and matching records from the sales header table. Let me try to show you that. So in that case, all the customers, there are so many customers. So in that case, I am going to get all these customers. There are so many customers, actually almost 31,000 customers. But I will be also getting all the matching sales order for those customers who have some sales. So there are, in this scenario, you want to see all the customers along with the sales order if at all there is any. So moving on, we have the stored procedures. The stored procedures are pre-compiled SQL statements stored in the database which can be executed repeatedly. They help improve performance, security, and code reusability. We will see how to create stored procedure later on. Then we have something called views. Views in SQL are virtual tables based on the result of an SQL query. They are not physically stored as a data in the database, but are rather dynamically generated when required. A view is created using a select statement that defines the columns and rows of the virtual table. Views allow users to retrieve data from multiple tables or apply filters and joins without directly accessing the underlying table. So we can be used to restrict user access to certain columns or rows of the table, providing better data security and privacy. And depending on the database system, views can be updatable, allowing users to insert, update, or delete data using the view. So it's important to note that views do not store data themselves, but rather provide a way to query and work with existing data in the structured manner. When we learn the SQL, you also need to understand some of the data integrity. The SQL Server provides mechanism for ensuring data integrity, such as constraints using unique, not null, null, and transactions. The SQL Server offers various security features like user authentication, roles, permissions, and encryption to protect data from unauthorized access. The summary is that these are just some of the basic concepts related to the SQL Server. As you delve deeper, you will discover more advanced topics and features available in SQL Server. So before closing, we will have a demo of some of the shared query language. So let me welcome you to the SQL language demo, and we will be using some of the basic commands to create a table, view, stored procedures, order table, and so on. First of all, we should have a database. Okay, if you would like to create a new database, you can of course create a new database by right-clicking on the database icon and simply choosing the new database. I have already created an empty database that's a demo, so I won't be creating a new database. If I want to execute some commands against this particular database, I can right click and create a new script window. It's a new query window. it will open an empty window for you, and you can see the chosen database is that's demo. So all the queries that will be executing in this database. So I have taken a few scripts. So first of all, I will be creating a table employee. This is the syntax of creating a table in SQL language. These are keywords, create table, and we should give a name for the table. And these are the columns, or we call fields. And you know that each column has a data type. The SQL supports different types of data types: int, varchar, date, then decimal, and so on. It also supports some end text, and there is a primary. The employee ID will be used to uniquely identify each employee in the employee table. So how do you execute this command? You can select the command, and there is something called execute, or you can simply press F5. So let me execute this command. So the expectation is that it should create a table called employee under that's demo. So let me execute it. Yeah, the command completed successfully. Let me refresh the table. I can see that a new table has been created, and this table has no records. So how do you check that? You can right click and select top 1000 rows. I don't see any records, so I can confirm that this newly created table has no records. So let's evaluate the employee table. There's employee ID, first name, last name, date of birth, department, position, salary, and start date. Of course, employees will come and go the organization, so I also need to know what is an end date. So in order to add a additional column to the employee table, I can use a SQL command which is called alter. So the command is alter table, create table. So alter table employee, add end date, which is of type date. So let me execute this alter command. Of course, you will see that an additional column is appended. There is something called end date. Okay, so I have run the alter command from the SQL language. Then what I would like to insert 5 employees to my employee table. So I have prepared some script for that. The command is insert into employee and the fields, and there is something keyword called values. Then I can specify the record. So employee ID, first name, last name, and date of birth, department, position, salary, and start date. Okay, so let me execute this command. Your expectation is to add to the employee table. So the 5 records are inserted. So let me try to execute this command one more time. So it will return 5 records or 5 employees details. So I have created a table, added a new column using alter command. Then I inserted 5 employees records. Then I am able to select it. Then I would like to create a unique index. So what is the purpose of an index? Index will help to improve the performance of the data retrieval. So I will create an index. The command is create unique index. Then the primary key employee on employee. The column is employee ID. So let me create a primary key index. So that's also created. So what is that? So now we have a table, we have some records, and I can also show you how to create a view. And the view condition is, so I want to see, in the view, I want to see employees having salary greater than 50,000. So ideally, there are 3 employees who are having salary greater than 50,000. So I can create a view. The command is simple: create view, employee view as select employee ID, first name, last name, department ID, position, and employee, where salary greater than equal to 50,000. Let me execute. And since the view a command is executed, I can go and refresh my database. Of course, you will be able to see the tables, then the recently created view, employee view, and you can choose from employee view, select star from employee view. You are going to see 3 records which are having salary greater than 50,000. That is the view creation. Now we can also create stored procedure. What is syntax for creating a stored procedure? Create procedure, get employee count as begin, select count star as total employees from employee. So let me execute this create stored procedure command. So we have a get employee stored procedure. Where can I see that? Let me refresh the database. And let me go to the programmability. And there is something called stored procedure. Yeah, the stored procedure which I just created is added to this stored procedure. Click. And how do we execute the stored procedure? It is nothing but using an execc command. Execc get employee command is the syntax. That is 5. We have created a stored procedure and we are able to run this execc get employee count stored procedure. These are some of the basic SQL language command I would like to show you today. And you can explore a lot of commands and variations to learn SQL language. And this is one of the core area where each Azure data engineer should master. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope this was really useful to you. Let me know your feedback as comments to this video. Thank you.